Right guys, another Sunday, another vlog. Phew. Excited to update you on some progress for this week. Actually, there hasn't been that much progress to update you on, if I'm honest, but it has been a busy week for me. So it starts with work, to be honest. Throughout doing this whole Adventure Antidote thing, training for the different events that we've got to do and trying to raise the money, I do still have a 9-to-5 job, and that has to obviously be a priority. And this week was our flagship event of the year, so I had to fly out to Barcelona for that, which means there was a lot of drinking, there was a lot of eating, there was just a lot of walking around the event and chatting to people, which means I didn't do much training and other bits. But you know, it was an early start last Sunday, 4 a.m. from Wales, driving down to Gatwick Airport. Did the standard spoons and a pint. It doesn't really matter if you're going for work or on a holiday, does it? You've just got to do it. So had my pint, got on the flight, and I'm a nervous flyer, and Whoop let me know that I was stressed for 2.5 hours whilst I flew over, and confirmed that I do indeed hate flying. Then when I landed, I actually got to the hotel pretty quickly and thought I might just get a run in here. So I did quickly get in a quick 11k run. And it was nice just to get around a bit of Barcelona, some areas that I haven't seen before. Went down by the Marina, saw some big old yachts, and thought maybe I can get some of those guys to donate. But there was no one on the boat at the time, sadly. Then we had an associate reception, which is where just all of the people from the company got together, had a chat about what was to come for the week, had some drinks, and then we had a welcome dinner with some of the guests that we invited out there. So yeah, been working my 9-to-5 sales job for Gartner throughout the week, but this one was just, you know, extended hours, and I am one deal away from hitting my quota, and I would really like to do that soon so that then I can kind of focus a little bit more on this, and the money would be really helpful too. So I'm hoping to close that deal soon, and I will let you know when I do. Now, what else? So I suppose then I flew home on Wednesday evening and then drove home from Gatwick to Wales, got here at like 1 in the morning. So Thursday, although I was at work, hopefully Gareth, if you're watching this, you understand, Thursday was pretty much a write-off because I was just absolutely shattered. But fortunately I didn't really have many calls in my diary, so I was able just to catch up on things that I'd been missed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and make a lot of plans for the following week, which is always good news. I started to plan out the marathon, right? Because the first event that we've got is a marathon on ice, and it's on the 24th of March. So that is 19 weeks away. And turns out Nike have a pretty good marathon training plan, and it's 18 weeks long. So I've got another week of just kind of jogging around and doing whatever training I fancy, and then I can knuckle down and start the marathon training. I did have a quick look at it, and because I've been running and doing bits anyway, I'm actually a little bit further ahead, so I'm not worried about running training at the moment. But you know, it's good to plan ahead, I guess. What else have I been doing? So I've been thinking about the content that I'm going to create for everyone, because what I really want to avoid is just doing like training content, because the whole point in this is it's the adventure antidote, right? And me just training for a marathon, even though the marathon itself is an adventure because it's in a pretty unique location and it's not something people would usually do. That part of it's quite adventurous and exciting, but me doing 10k around Bridgend 100 times in training for it, not that exciting. So I really want to avoid becoming just another, not just another, but you know, I don't want to become a training influencer, right? Or like a fitness influencer. Those guys are better at it, it means more to them. I'll leave that to the fitness influencers. So what I am going to do is keep doing these vlogs, and I will continue to call them vlogs rather than vlogs, so that people can follow the progress of the campaign. I am going to be running podcasts, so these types of video interviews, I think they will be probably the adventure part, because I've got a bunch of people lined up to speak to who are, I don't want to give it away, but they are really good at what they do, and the stuff that they do is exciting and adventurous. So that can be the kind of inspiring adventure part. And then I will still put training content up, because, you know, the run stuff, great in the initial part, but then when we start moving on, obviously we've got to be doing specific training for climbing the Matterhorn, and then the rowing training I think is something completely different as well. So I will keep them on there. The other things I've been doing is I've been trying to figure out how can I make better videos. I spent like 3.5 hours last night going through tutorials for a program called Blender, and I don't know, I ended up trying to make a donut on it. Don't ask why, but what I was trying to do was make a cool like logo intro for these vlogs and I've just spent like 3.5 hours failing to make a donut instead. And then I decided to buy Premiere Pro, because I thought, hey, well, why don't I just get that Adobe app and I'll invest in that, and I'll just use that to make a cool intro and make videos really interesting. Fuck me, it is complicated. I can barely even get my logo onto the screen, let alone actually start editing stuff and make it look cool. Oh my days. So I think I'm gonna have to spend some time learning how to video edit properly. But yeah, and I need to stop buying things, Jacob. Buying things is not solving your problem. Like I've bought a subscription to Motion Array, which is where I can get like sound effects and titles and shit like that. Then I've bought Premiere Pro, which I just don't even know how to use at all. I need to buy a new microphone, obviously, because the other ones I got were terrible and they are gone. I don't know where they are. What else have I been doing? I've been looking at software for recording podcasts at home, so that I can, instead of getting the studio, it would be much more cost effective to just do it from my laptop and it be high quality, so that everyone can just enjoy the conversations, and I can do it from home. I can do it more frequently than heading off to London and having a studio for a day. But that still means me paying upfront for a year subscription, and I'm just like, oh, do you need that? Do you really need it? Because I just keep buying things. Anyway, if I close that deal, then it won't matter so much, but wish me luck. I think that is pretty much the update so far. I suppose apart from just talking about training, I guess, like so far this week, I ran about 30k this week. I did 11k in Barcelona. I did a 12k yesterday when I got back. That was after surfing for a couple of hours as well. I had a wicked day surfing, not gonna lie. I went out and I've got a board here, but I went and rented just a bigger one, it's just so much easier to get up on, and I spent way more time actually riding waves, which was good fun instead of just falling over all the time. And then on the way out, I was like, maybe I'll do a couple more waves. There was some guy in front, like on my line. I'm surfing towards him and I can see he's not moving. And I think maybe he thinks I'm skilled enough to like just carve around him, and I'm not that skilled. So I'm barreling towards him. I just jump off and I can see my board is like hurtling towards him. And obviously it's attached to your ankle. So I like kick my leg back so that it will pull the board. And obviously I land in the water, I come up and the board is coming straight at me and it pangs me in the nose. Oh my days, that hurt a lot. And then I was like, I think that's me done. I was actually really lucky my teeth didn't come out because it smashed me straight in the mouth/nose area. Oh, that hurt. But it was still a good day surfing. And then the other thing I've done is I went climbing on Friday evening down the bouldering centre in Cardiff. And I'm feeling like I'm making some good progress. I need some new climbing shoes soon because mine have holes in them, which is good news. It means you're using your feet properly. So yeah, I think that's an update for this week. I have a few exciting things going on next week, and hopefully that will mean that I get the first podcast episode out or so. But yeah, looking forward to creating more content more consistently to help people understand like what we're doing and be engaged with the journey, because obviously right now this is like really ground zero and we have 3 big challenges to take on, and it's gonna there's a lot to do. Fundraising update. My nan's check came in. Hey! So I gave her a ring, thanked Nan for the check, and she does this thing, right? Like, I have the conversation with her, and then we say goodbye. I called her in the car, as I often do. And so I can hear her, she says goodbye, she says goodbye, but she doesn't put the phone down yet. And she always says, "Oh, isn't he lovely?" I don't know who she's talking to, and I feel like she's doing it on purpose. But she just she doesn't hang up, and then you just hear her in the background go, "Oh, he's lovely, isn't he?" I reckon she's doing it on purpose just to make me feel good, but it works, Nan. And that is probably enough rambling for this week. So thank you for listening. See you next.